Hello everyone, it's Aiden again. We're back with our lovely red car, and today we're going to be learning another thing, how to replace spark plugs. I don't normally give a list of tools you'll need, but this time I think I will. First of all, you're going to need your spark plugs. This is an old one. You're going to need a spark plug socket, which is usually 5/8 in measurement. Even if it is a foreign car, they don't usually use inches, but we're going to need a 5/8 inch socket. You don't really need a spark plug socket, but here's an example of the difference. This spark plug socket has soft foam here to hold the plug in place as it's sitting in there. This one does not. It doesn't matter completely, but it just is better to keep it from falling out when you turn the socket upside down. Okay, so in most modern cars you have these things called coils. There's one for each cylinder right here. What they do is they amplify the power and connect directly into the spark plug, because instead of the spark plugs being right on the outside like they are in older cars, they're way more inside the engine. So what you do is you just pop back these connectors, and then you should be able to just push this wiring harness off. Let me get that off and get back to you. Okay, so we've disconnected the wiring harness. It is separate from our coils. Like I was saying before, some cars do not have coils, and the spark plugs are directly where these are, where these terminals are actually plugged right into the plug. So all you do is pull those off and then follow the rest of the steps as I'm about to tell you, except you'll actually be able to see the spark plug. So here I have an example of one of the coils already out. It goes down in the engine and attaches to our plug right here. Let's get this off. As you can see, this is our spark plug and it is all gunky. What can happen if you don't replace them is this arc right here. Let's get a better view. What's actually happening to this spark plug is the arc right here is creating a taser effect with the two terminals, a little bolt of electricity that is igniting the gas in the chamber. And so if this becomes too gunky, the electricity will not be able to flow between the two terminals. Okay, so back to our coils. There's nothing really holding them on after you get the wiring harness out, no matter what kind of car you have. So they're going to be in there with a lot of suction. So you're just going to need to reach up real hard and pull them out. The spark plug will not come out with them, but that's what we're going to do the next step. Just set them up along the window right here in the same order that you take them out, so that they go back in the same way, because you don't want to mix match them. Okay, now we're going to need a socket wrench with a 5/8 inch attachment like I was mentioning earlier. This is something that most people probably have in their garage, and if not, it's like $2 at the auto parts store. You're going to need probably an attachment, if you have coils, to an extender, because they're at least as deep into the engine as these coils are, so this has to be longer than the coil is. I use electric tape to tape my socket onto my extension, because sometimes when you're trying to pull the spark plug out, the entire socket comes off of the attachment, and then that's not good to get that lost in the engine. So tape it on there with something other than masking tape. Okay, we have all of our coils up here in the same order they came out of the cylinder, so we do not misplace that. I took off the wrench so that I could just get these out by hand. In a sec, we'll see how it's helpful to have the spongy spark plug wrench instead of the regular socket. See how easy that came out? This doesn't fall off. And there's our spark plug on the end there. Let's take it and compare it to our new ones. There's old, and that's the new ones. You can see be a lot more Easy for an electric arc to form right there. Okay, so here's a new spark plug and an old spark plug side by side. Like I was saying earlier, all the gunk that builds up on these over time creates less of an opportunity for there to be a spark generated. As you can see, this tip is all black, and this one actually still has metal exposed, so you can actually generate a spark. What can happen if this gets too dirty is the piston can misfire, and all the fuel will not burn in the piston and the cylinder there. So what that means is you're not going to be getting as much power out of your car, emissions are going to be worse, and you can expect it to run really funny and the engine to shake. So this is an important bit of maintenance that needs to be done. Okay, here's the most important thing about installing spark plugs. So for a while it is going to be very easy to turn the wrench, like as the spark plug is going in. At a certain point it'll suddenly get hard to turn and you want to stop right there, because you're screwing this into aluminum, which is a soft metal, and if you screw it in more than it's supposed to be, the piston will actually knock into the top of the spark plug and destroy the entire engine. So that's a very important thing that you're going to want to keep paying attention to. As you can see right there, it just got hard to turn. I'm not going to force it. Just pull it out and that one's done. You're also going to want to make sure that your spark plugs are exactly the same size. If you ask for give them the name of your car and everything in the auto parts store, they should be able to match them up. But if you get one that's longer, it could go into the engine and the piston could hit it and destroy it and mess up the piston. Same thing could happen if you over tighten this when you put it in, like I was mentioning earlier. So just be wary of those two things. Okay guys, don't worry, we're almost done. All you gotta do is take your conveniently lined up coils and put them back in their rightful spots. You want to push them in until you feel the rubber seat over the spark plug. I'm gonna go ahead and magically zap the rest of these in. Whoa, that was pretty cool. Alright, now we just gotta plug this in. Probably don't need to be showing you this part, but the main thing is you want to make sure you hear a small tiny click when you push these all in. Just to make sure this is clicked in. Double check that these are all at the same level. And there you go, you've replaced spark plugs.